Hey guys, we're at Drift Darbnita here getting the alignment done on the Corvette. It actually hasn't had one done in probably 2 years or close to when it was started. And yeah, we've noticed a few things that are off. These guys do a lot of drift alignments, so the first thing he checked was actually the wheelbase and track width referencing to the chassis points. So we found points on the car that are factory and then measured to the ball joints on each corner, recognizing that there was a few differences of like 4 to 5 millimeters. So getting those points exact and then making the caster camber toe adjustments from there. They definitely know what they're doing. So this is about 20 minutes from the track. We're gonna go from here over to the track, and then practice is tomorrow. Yeah, maybe you guys will catch some information while we're doing this. All right, so with the bumper off and up on the alignment rack, we're able to see everything that we had to replace. A couple new things here, new subframe. A new rack plate is also new. The rack itself is new as well. We're running this pump. This is the older generation of the Astro Opal pump, so it runs a little bit higher PSI. They call it the long neck pump. Feels about the same as the other Opal that I was running. This crash structure is new. You can see it's all like mild steel. This is new. I had to whip this up for supporting the front of the bumper. This was just a piece of bent pipe that I found, welded a bolt to either end, made a stud. I actually like this better than not better than, but it's actually a bit stiffer and lighter. So if I did 2 of these, I'd actually be kind of happy about it. The alignment specs works closer than I thought they would be. Only a degree off on camber and caster left to right. We're setting up these values and getting this thing ready for one of the fastest overall tracks of the Drift Masters series and a legendary track for drifting. Definitely one of the most exciting formats that exist in drifting. And Drift Masters has a minimum 3 transition rule. So every track we go to has at least 3 transitions. So that's something unique about Drift Masters that I think is really cool. We will be putting new tires on when we get to the track because we're going to need them for the front traction on this car. These will probably just chill as some spares just in case we wreck a front wheel. It's always smart. That's pretty much it from underneath here. It'll be better to have slight positive on this side.
So now we can do like just towing on the right side.
Slight toe, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We are here at Drift Masters Grand Prix, and this is kind of the infamous Riga. And I think the hashtag that's trending is "It's Riga Baby," and that's where we're at. Behind me are the bleachers. All of them are going to be full. This is going to be the craziest high-speed section. I just took a ride around with Edgar, saying that the entry speed is 140 to 160. Average speed through here is about 120. Coming up to this massive apex that I've seen so many cars destroy themselves there and here, and then obviously the final wall, which again, this track's famous for like every corner, the starting corner, the speed, the last corner, the wall. It's a full 180 degrees. When you enter in, you come out the same direction that you went in at. So it's amazing to be here. It's 9 o'clock at night, so we're kind of the only guys out here, which is nice. It's peaceful. We just got all of our parts. We're setting up our pit, and the Corvette's straight. It's ready to go. All in all, we're gonna make the best of it. We are here in Latvia, Riga, and once this event is over, it's all gonna set in that I've driven this track, the track that I've seen on I've driven on the sim so often, and I've seen it on TV a million times. It's crazy to be standing here, and everyone's so nice and helpful. So I couldn't be more thankful to start this. I've been here for like 4 days already, working on the car. And it's been great. A lot of hard work, but it's been great. Okay, so it's Thursday here at Drift Masters. We have practice probably in like 4 or 5 hours. We're just getting everything ready on the car. We had to do a coilover change. One was leaking. We got to put new fronts on the car, front tires that is. Everything's going pretty well. We just got the car teched, it passed, and he was surprised, but we kind of saw what they were checking for and then made sure that we had everything under control. So, so far so good. We're gonna be on the track real soon. Okay, we just finished practice. Had a bit of an adventure with changing spark plugs and having a oil fitting leaking on the dry sump. Luckily, it was just a vacuum fitting, so it's not pressure. After that, everything was okay. We probably did 5 laps total with a 6th lap that doesn't really count. We still need to work on our initiation and filling out zone 1. The rest of the track is fairly doable. It's a lot of fun. It's fast. It's just full throttle. Like the log is just 100% throttle all the time. And then obviously a handbrake, some fluttering up the gas going into the last corner. But otherwise, this car's rocking. We don't need to dial in any more grip. The car's fast, so that's pretty much it. We're gonna jack up the car, do a full once over on everything, make sure we're all good, and yeah, that's all. Hey everyone, we're at the end of practice now and we're doing the infamous photo shoot that Drift Masters has posted from the grandstands, the sun going down, and the perfect setting for all of the cars here at Riga. So we had a couple problems in practice, misfiring and some other things. We have to do some more tests. We're all very hungry, we're all very thirsty, but we're going to try and do that tonight because we have practice tomorrow at 9:30. Not really sure how we're going to get it done, but we're going to try. Basically, the engine runs okay on full throttle, but it's really bad everywhere else. So that's the update, and that's the end of today. Good morning, it's Friday. Today is qualifying day, and we are working on the car, trying to figure out the misfire issue. Currently, when I crashed, all of these EGTs unplugged from the impact and laid them onto the headers. So I haven't had EGTs working. You know, most cars don't have EGTs, so it's not a huge deal, but when you're trying to diagnose something, they're really, really handy to see where the issue is. So now I'm rewiring them, kind of with melted plugs, cutting the wires back, making sure they're all good. We should be able to get a reading. They're really simple how they actually work. We got practice in like an hour, and we got a couple things on the list. The car is drivable, but just not that drivable, so. Today is Friday, today is qualifying. We've actually missed both practices, chasing kind of the same gremlins that we had in Finland with the misfire. We've determined that it's not a misfire, the engine is just running bad. And what the reason is, why, we have no idea. Mechanically, everything checks out perfectly. I know you guys are gonna make suggestions in the comments. Go ahead, make the suggestion, but we did everything. Like if you think of it, we did it. Took a lot of time, pulled a lot of parts. Everything mechanically is perfect. So we don't know if it's the tune, we don't know if but it's intermittent because we just pulled the car in the tent and it went back to normal. So we're gonna find out in qualifying how that goes, and that's all I have to say. And we need at least an 85 to make it in the show, so we're gonna be shooting for that or above. So thanks guys.
To our next driver, and he's not had an easy weekend or season so far. It is our only Canadian driver, Josiah, and he's in the C6 Corvette engine issue. They had a pretty much written off chassis after Finland. He put 70 plus hours in this week to get this car straight and going, and he's been struggling in practice with engine issues. Let's see if it all goes right for Josiah Falaise here on the first run. So far, looks like the car is working, and he is wildly throwing through forward.
Wow, this is good so far from Josiah as he puts that car right where the judges want to see it, nice and wide. Can he keep it in that zone? He can. He right to the edge of the circuit, puts the back end of his C6 Corvette into that zone. Oh, a little shallow there, but now starts to massage the back end and work it into the wall and across the line. And what a run from Josiah Falaise. He said to me earlier on, Dave, it feels good to be at a circuit driving a car that I designed to drive this fast. He said, you know, I engineer and I build these suspension components, and I'm finally driving at a track where I can really unleash this weapon. He said, even if I'm doing it with 7 cylinders, they have an intermittent misfire, which is the hardest thing to find.
Yeah, they said they've plugged in all the computers. They cannot see a fault.
No.
So they know it's there. They can hear it every now and again, but there's no feedback of what it is. So they're kind of, I suppose, hitting and hoping.
You know what? He's a guy that just likes to risk it all. There we go, a 74 for Josiah Falaise, and he'll be happy with that.
All right, so we just finished qualified run number 1 with a 74.5. Pretty safe run, honestly. The initiation was slightly early, and the arc that it drew put me a little wide on zone 1, so I need to tighten that up. Honestly, everything was okay. The engine is still running strange, but we're just going to send it again. Same pressures. We increased the pressure a bit just to make it a little easier to drive, and I'm okay with that first run, but we do need to improve it. So deeper in the last zone, kind of a little bit deeper everywhere except for the end of 1. You guys will see it, and yeah, thanks for watching the journey this far. It's been rough.
Circuit. Well, there we go. Back on the line we go to a Canadian driver, Josiah Falaise, driving in the FDF C6 Corvette LSX engine underneath the bonnet. He's feeling a little bit confident now. Got 1 run in the bag. Car's working. May have a misfire still. We don't know. It's a mid one, which is the hardest one to find. 999 horsepower. What can he do? He's got 1 run in the bag. He'll want to prove to everybody here at Drift Masters why he is the best driver from Canada. Fires down, looks for the outside zone. Absolutely screams now. Naturally aspirated. Bootlick can barely hang on as Josiah dips a wheel along the white line of the outside zone. It was a little shallow. Now looks for the final outside zone. Can he get into it? He can't. Needs to let the car go, and he now finds the outside zone. Onto the wall he goes, and across the line.
I was just thinking there that he has 1,000 horsepower naturally aspirated. Not even a turbo or a supercharger.
No, doesn't need none of that.
Nope. But in qualifying, you're not against anyone else except yourself, so running them so gripped up, it's hard to know what the advantage or disadvantage, or maybe you get prepared. But it's 71 on the board for Josiah Falaise, leaves him inside the top 32 for now.
Guys, we are in. Finally, all the hard work. We had 10 different countries that we counted working on the car. The spotters, the mechanics, everybody helping. We made it in. I think we're 31st, but in is in. It doesn't matter if it's barely or all the way. So I'm super happy. I'm very fatigued. I'm really hungry, and we got a huge mess to clean up tonight, but it doesn't matter. Tomorrow's a new day, new chance to practice, new chance to work on things on the track. I'm super excited that here in Riga, with all the issues that we had, I am in the show, and a lot of good guys are not. It's tough here, man. It's tough, but we're in. So the video is going to be longer. Okay, we're here on Saturday morning. Today is top 32. We have James Deane on our first battle, and we have practice coming up in like 2 hours. So we're making a couple small adjustments to the car. We were not able to find the same size tire in the rear that we were running, and I think everyone's having similar problems. Kind of our fault. We didn't bring enough tires, and everyone else kind of did the same. So with that extra day of practice, that's what happened. So we're running 265s today on the rear because we were able to get some from Black Smoke. That's the diesel Mercedes. So the changes, we're making a little bit of front end adjustments in the alignment, and other than that, we're not really going to touch the car's engine anymore. It is down on power still, and we're just going to make sure that the log is clean, the engine is going to be safe. It would be really nice to have full power at this track. This track is requiring all of it, but this is what we're working with, and we can't get too invested in ripping apart stuff again because we were doing that all day yesterday, and we needed a good sleep, but we're happy to be here, and let's get the show on the road.
James Deane qualifying third yesterday to decide on his result today whether he'll continue in Hungary to try and go win the championship. Josiah Falaise has engine trouble. He had to straighten the car after Finland, had to jig the car on a frame rail, and he's still in the fight. He's up against James Deane. What a huge battle for Josiah Falaise from Canada right now as he goes up against one of the best in the business. This one's going to be fireworks.
It certainly is. Look at this from Josiah Falaise, already hunting down James Deane as they come into initiation. Josiah goes on the inside, looks for James Deane, but Deane up and gone. Now Falaise gets himself into the fight. They transition for the outside zone. James Deane absolutely ripping, and Josiah puts himself out of position as Deane goes super wide, and Josiah hanging on to this one, trying to get himself into the mix, trying to get himself into the fight as Deane puts it to the outside zone. Josiah goes for the door across the line.
He's a hard man to chase around here, James Deane. Hard man to chase when he's driving that fast. It is unbelievable to watch.
And it's so precise as well, right to the edge of the circuit. And you can see Josiah not doing a bad job. And here, look, hits the curb, I think, and it unsettles the front wheels of the curb. It, unloads the rear suspension, makes it difficult for him to drive. And at this point, James Deane's up and gone. You can see Josiah trying to do everything he can. He's on the inside of the track, trying to shortcut, trying to make a dive back, but it just won't work for him. As Deane, as always, in Riga, textbook.
His spotter had been in the radio and said, Josiah made a mistake, made an error. Now you don't need to push to 100%. Just be in the fight, do enough, see in top 16. And he's the one driver that you can almost guarantee can take that information in and then translate it into a run. It's amazing to watch.
Yeah, certainly is. And here we go, 30 years goes James Deane. He don't play it safe. Look at this, he lets Josiah go. Falls off the outside zone, but Josiah back into it again, transitions back. Deane moves himself into the fight now, tucks up on the inside as Josiah shortcuts the circuit, misses a few outside zones. He's going to go wide here and pinch himself up. He's going to get to that zone very late, and look at Deane calculating. Waits for Josiah to get set in that zone. Up into the wall goes Josiah, and onto the door goes Deane.
It's just a masterclass to watch. We're watching probably the best drifter of all time in the prime of his career, showing you how difficult he is to beat. Is he unbeatable? No. I mean, Lauri Heinen took him down in Finland. You can beat him, but you've got to really be clever. And again, you cannot afford to make one error. Once Josiah put a wheel on the curb, that's all you need to do against James Deane, and that might be enough.
Yeah, exactly that.
A lot of bravery from Josiah Falaise, but bravery, unfortunately, doesn't get you far if you don't beat the machine, and the machine goes through to the top 16. And James Deane takes another name this year.